Good morning, dear students. Today we're going to take James Joyce's uniqueness. As you remember, in the portrait of the artist as a young man, we have two unique characteristics of James Joyce. First, of course, is epiphany, and the second one is a stasis. A stasis. Okay, we are going to take each one of them in details, and I want you to look for them within the text. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take epiphany. Epiphany is a sudden realization of a truth that comes after a moment of crisis to understand the full significance of something or someone, as if a veil is lifted from your eyes. It could be self realization. It's a technique adopted by James Joyce from religious context. You see, epiphany is an aha moment. It's just like when you realize something about someone, you have your best friend who's always there for you, or you thought he will always be there for you. And suddenly, when you want something from him, he doesn't do what you thought he will. It's just you get an epiphany. He's not as true as you thought he is. Or sometimes you can realize something about yourself. You just discover that you like something or you hate something very much and you didn't know that. Okay, so epiphany originally is from Christianity. It's when the three wise men noticed a star in the sky and they followed that star because they thought it's amazing and it looks significant. They followed it, and when they reached the place of the star, they found baby Jesus there. So those three wise men, through the star, discovered their future king. So, James Joyce took this epiphany and made it lots of functions. There are many functions for epiphany. First, it changed the character points of view about other characters or about himself. Second, it changes characters' point of view about something, like you just realize you don't like religion or you don't like politics. The third, it changes or develops plot because when you change, we're going to take examples from portraits of an artist. For example, in chapter one, after meeting the rector in Clongowes and telling him about Father Doland, his unjust punishment, Stephen realizes that religious figure can be unjust, unfair, cruel, and wrong. So he will not be proud with them anymore. So he realized something about someone. The problem is he overgeneralizes his point of view that to the extent that he doesn't only just reject religious men, he just rejects religion in general. Okay. In chapter 2, we have another epiphany that he concluded after three famous incidents. As you remember, each paragraph starts, he was sitting alone, he was sitting alone, he was sitting alone. Every time he sits alone, uh, the thing that attracts his attention is the mention of women of all ages. Elaine was his first pure love, Mercedes, his literary attraction and the crash. Mabel Hunter, the girl that they saw on a magazine. Josephine, Napoleon's wife. Essie, the nameless girl in the birthday that everyone keeps calling Emma, I don't know why. It leads him to self realization that he actually likes women. And this likeness will turn into lust, incarnating in having a relationship with a prostitute. That's in the end of chapter 2. Okay. The second uniqueness of James Joyce is the concept of equilibrium, a balance and calmness. It's called uh, James Joyce calls it stasis. Sorry, I forgot to say something. That because James Joyce actually adopted, and he was the first to adopt this into literature, he made a book that was published after his death, I think. He called it Epiphanies. He collected all his epiphanies in it, and he has another book, as you remember, Stephen's Hero. It has also a lot of epiphanies. So, stasis, equilibrium. Every chapter ends with a moment of a stasis, where Stephen, after many thematic statements and diversity of experiences, through conflict, find peace and temporary calmness. Okay. For example, you see, in chapter one, we had a lot of thematic ideas and experiences. We have him in geography, questioning God and universe. We have him on the playing ground, not involved in athletics, but in continuous stream of unconsciousness. We have him, the death of Parnell, a Christmas dinner, the clash of politics, and all of these thematics. The climax was when being punished by Father Doland and the Christmas fight, and then after he goes to the rector, and the rector tells him, "I will talk to Father Dolan about it." He goes to the boys, and the boys cheers him up, and he's a hero. He has a moment of stasis when he's very calm and everything is cool. The same thing in chapter 2. In chapter 2, after all the confusion and anger, torment, you see, in his moving from Clongowes to Belvedere, being bullied because he has different literary interests than the other boys, falling in lust with women, and his father's financial problems, all of these experiences and conflicts, and that it comes incarnates in calmness, although in the arms of a prostitute, but it's a moment of stasis. Okay, now you have to look out for all epiphanies and stasises in all chapters. Thank you for your attention, and see you on the next video.